Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to try and convert the brake master cylinder on this 88 Mustang to a later 93 Cobra, 9495 GT, 9495 Cobra master cylinder. Why would you want to do this? Well, if you're going to do a brake upgrade, like for example, in this car I have a set of Terminator Cobra front calipers, you're going to need a more capable master cylinder. The real problem here is Ford did everything like a dog's breakfast. Some of these fittings are metric. They're all different sizes. You're going to need a few things. First, you're going to need the 9495 GT master cylinder. This is a readily available parts store kind of part. It also has different size metric fittings in there. You're going to need an adapter set to thread in to here in order to convert those to 3/8/24 SAE style brake fittings. And because you're going to lose your proportioning system, you're going to need a manual proportioning valve, which you're going to place in the rear brake system. Now that could be done down here, it could be done over where that rear brake system has a join over by the firewall. They're all places that it could be put. Almost certainly we're going to have to manufacture a few items here. So you're going to need some, flare tools, tubing cutters, brake line, or you can also just get short pieces of made up 3/16 line and then just bend it to fit where you need to be. So I've got a few of those. That's the easiest thing to start with. I bought enough stuff that I think I have everything that's needed, but you just never know until you get into it. I'm going to start taking it apart and we'll see where we get to. Here's the factory brake booster and master cylinder setup. You got a couple things you got to worry about here. You got the plug, which gives you a brake warning light, and the factory setup has 3 outlets. One there, and one there. There are some key differences from the factory master cylinder to like a 93 Cobra or whatever master cylinder, SN95 Master cylinder. This line goes to the rear brakes, goes through this proportioning valve over here, and there is a union over here, which is for the rear brakes. That's a place we could break into this line if we needed to. This one goes to the driver's side front brake, and this one goes to the passenger side front brake through this proportioning block. Now, what you're going to find is all these fittings are kind of various metric fittings. There'll be metric fittings on here, and they're different sizes, and everything's going to end up converted to 3/16 brake line with 3/8/24 flare fittings. So you've got to have enough adapters to make it all go around. A good place to start to try and reduce the mess is with a vacuum bleeder, and you can try to suck as much fluid out of the master cylinder, the existing master cylinder, as possible. The more you suck out up front, the less is going to run out when you take it apart. That's probably about all we're going to get. Okay, it's easier to work on this stuff with no engine in the car. Let's start by pulling out our wiring, then we can move on to start trying to take these fittings off. Got a little tray here in case we can catch it, and I did actually start out by spraying this down with brake cleaner and trying to get all this area around here and the fittings as clean as it could be. Okay, we'll try and catch that fluid that runs out of there. We're going to take these lines right off. That one is for sure a 3/8/24 on that side. So we can actually remove the master cylinder now. Okay, let's got those bolts off. Nuts off. Let's see if we can break this loose. It's broke loose on that side. I'm gonna reach in there with a brass. The whole master cylinder swap took kind of a left turn the other day, and it's taken me a day or two to get back to it. Here's what happened. When I went to take the old master cylinder off, for whatever reason, the outboard stud was frozen to the cylinder. There was some white aluminum corrosion in there, and it would not come off. No way, no how. Finally, what I ended up having to do was take the whole booster assembly out. Now, this is a lot more of pain than you should really experience to do a master cylinder swap. I didn't film it. I'm not going to show it to you because 99 out of 100 of you guys are not going to have this problem. But that's what happened to me. The master just would not come off, so I had to pull the whole booster. It's a little bit easier when you've already got most of the interior out and there's only 2 bolts in the steering column and all that, but still not a fun job. Once I got it out, it still wouldn't come off, not with heat, not with anything. So finally, in order to get it off, what I did is I scored it here in 2 places with a Dremel tool with a flex shaft. Then I struck it with a cold chisel and broke the ear off of it. And then and only then was I able to finally get it off. Give you a little bit of a look. Maybe you can see in there. It was all corroded in here with like aluminum corrosion. So for the purposes of this video, I'm going to assume that you get your booster off in like 2 bolts in 5 minutes, and it's not that big of a deal. Once you got that out of the way, your next step is to try and figure out how to plumb the new system. Okay, so plumbing it, a good step is just put your new master cylinder on there loosely so you can see where it's going to go. The back fitting on here goes to the front brakes, and that's this one and this one. What you got to do is you got to use a T in order to tee the front brake circuit to the 2 brake lines. None of these fittings are sort of standard fittings. Ford has a real potpourri. So you have a couple options. You can use an adapter kit like this Maximum Motorsports kit and adapt these metric fittings to 3/16 brake line with 3/8 24 threads on there, which is a standard brake line. And then you can either make up a new brake line or you can buy pre-made short lengths of brake line like this, bend it up with a bender. You'll have to cut the ends off of the 2 front brake lines that are on the car and put new 3/8 24 flare nuts on there. And then you'll have to bend these up so that you can get them right. Now, I would say a good rough orientation is something like that, where you feed in one end here from the master cylinder, another end to one of the front lines, and then this side for the other front line. That's probably the right orientation. Your other option is you can adapt the original fitting. It will thread in here. The original fittings have the correct master cylinder end fittings on. So all you have to do with that is cut off the end of this original fitting, take the nut off of there, and then reflare it with a 3/8 24 nut, and do that for the other 2, and then you can tee them together. That may be the path of least resistance for that. For the rear brakes, that's this front port, you got the same kind of a thing, except it seems that it actually has a 3/8 24 fitting on there. That's what that seems to be. Unless it's a metric fitting and it's just extremely close. I don't know for sure. I haven't made up my mind completely. But in any event, you could adapt this to 3/8 24, adapt the rear brake line to 3/8 24, and you got to put a proportioning valve in there. I got this all-star proportioning valve. It's got in one side, out the other. And probably the easiest thing to do is use a single 1/4-inch bolt. Use the mounting hole that was used for the original proportioning valve, and then it actually comes with adapters that adapt it to 3/8 24. Then all you're going to do is attach the rear line on there and the other line on there, and away you go. So that's relatively straightforward. I'm not actually going to show you how to flare brake lines. There's all kinds of tutorials online if you don't know how to flare brake lines. But make sure you get a good job when you're flaring these fittings. And when you go to bend up the brake lines, use a tubing bender like this in order to get a quality job of bending them, unless it's only a teeny bit that you need, and then you can tweak them a little bit by hand. All right, before we button this up, we got to bench bleed this master cylinder. Now, it can be actually done on a bench where you clip it into your vise using some soft jaws, and then you use a tool to press on it. Honestly, it's probably easier to just do it in the car like this. So we've bolted it up. We've got the discharge lines loose, and we're going to put some fluid in here. Then we're just going to pump the brake pedal in the car until we start to get fluid in some quantity coming out here. And then we can button it up, and we should be able to do a full bleed on the system. Oh, we're starting to get some there. You can see a little bit coming. Let's hit it a little more. Okay, I'm part of the way through this. I've got this line converted. The other line for here is fine. I've converted this line and put that on, and that's going to bolt up like that. This should go about something like that, and that should line up nicely with something like that. So let's go ahead and try and get this one assembled. Okay, well, in the end, the original line that I had here, I didn't get a good seal on this end. Obviously I didn't get a good job on it. Maybe the line's kind of punky, I don't know. So I have just made up a new line and used one of the conversion fittings that I had. You got to inspect this stuff carefully for leaks. The obvious leaks have stopped, so we'll go ahead and bleed the brakes and apply the brakes a few times, and we'll keep an eye on this because it could still leak. You would like to solve your brake leak problems now before you got the engine in here, because it's obviously 100 times easier to fix this stuff with no engine. Okay, that's the master cylinder swap done. A little bit of drama, there always is with these cars, but now this car is ready for these Cobra calipers, which I scored. We'll go ahead and bolt these up, and then we'll have better brakes for the front of our Godzilla project too. We had some leaks. You end up always getting leaks with this kind of stuff. And it was actually squirting a little brake fluid on the header when we started the car, which isn't great because brake fluid's pretty flammable. I've managed to, I think, get those leaks sorted out. It looked like it was just a matter of tightening them. Once the headers cooled down and could get in there, tightened a few things up. I had a little leak here on the Master, and I had leaks down at the T connection that I used down beside the headers. Tightened those up. It looks like the leaks are gone. So we're on to the final phase, which is the reason that we did all this in the first place, and that is I'm going to put these Cobra calipers on. I got these Cobra calipers for free from a friend of mine. It was a very nice gift, and I thought they will be perfect for this project. I don't know how readily available this stuff is anymore, and sometimes the calipers are available, but not the caliper brackets. I did a little test the other day, and everything bolted up just fine. It all fit fine. I got some rotors from Rock Auto that are going to go on there, and so today we're going to go ahead and do it. Now, the brake system has been fully invaded on this car, so it needs a whole bleed procedure in order to get it bled out. We might as well go the distance and put these calipers on. The one thing about these calipers is they were yellow, and one of them was yellow, and one of them had been peeled and partially sanded down, and they were ugly. I don't like yellow. I'm not a fan of yellow. Apologies to you guys who are. And so I took a little bit of time and I painted them silver. Did I do a good job? No, it's not a good job. And frankly, I think most of the time painting brake calipers, you get a kind of a sad job anyway. But I used a Duplicolor brush on kit. I cleaned them up, scuffed them, put this on. It's a kind of a will-do deal that hopefully doesn't look yellow through the wheels, because yellow would clash with everything else on this car, and it's not a favorite of mine. I'm not sure that you'll benefit from a lengthy brake install video, since I included the brake installation as part of the front suspension upgrade video on this project. I'll put a card up on the screen so you can check that out if you want. Basically, you lift the car up, pull the front wheels off, disconnect the brake line from the caliper, remove the caliper bolts and caliper bracket bolts, then remove both of those things, remove the rotors, install new rotors, install the caliper brackets, install the calipers and pads, put the wheels back on, and then bleed the whole brake system. New copper washers, top and back. Just snug this up. And we've got this installed so that it's out of the way. Then we can tighten this up. Also, you got your E-clip on the inside and a little shaft on the put in from the outside. Everything turns free. I don't see any runouts. Everything looks good. It's ready for a wheel. If you wonder why we bother with this, look at the difference in size. Those brakes are immensely different. This is going to stop way better with the Godzilla. If you like this kind of content, like, subscribe, leave me a comment, hit the hype button. I'll post some videos around my head here that YouTube thinks you'll like. Go ahead and watch those. We'll see you next time.